Now to this. Congress returns to work next week as Obamacare subsidies expire and affordability pressure grows ahead of the 2026 midterms. While insurance costs could double, the Trump administration is investing $50 billion in rural health care, putting control with local providers and easing the burden. At least a dozen states that supported Obamacare are now scrambling to find temporary solutions as Republican senators push to make health care more affordable again. Oklahoma GOP Senator Markwayne Mullin is helping lead that effort. He joins us now. Senator, thank you for being here. Happy New Year to you. Boy, I'll tell you, after the holiday, you guys are going to come back to Washington and have your work cut out for you. What's the plan?
Well, Happy New Year, Griff. I'm sorry, my bad. Hey, look, we have been laser focused on trying to get this done. Unfortunately, it takes the Democrats to work with us, and they're not interested in it. They're interested in just simply putting a bandaid on a failing system. Obamacare, which is called, affordable health care, is unaffordable. We know this, and President Trump is laser focused on trying to get it fixed. And I don't know why the Democrats wouldn't want to get it fixed. They know it's not working. I mean, from the time it was actually put in place in 2013. It has risen 3 times faster than inflation has. And even with the policy that we're dealing with right now, if this Band-Aid approach that the Democrats are wanting to extend, which is this premium tax, it would only bring down this policy, the policy increase by 4%. So what we want to do is, hey, let's tag in President Trump, the business guy, instead of having a community leader that wrote a failed policy, healthcare policy. Let's put in a guy that's grown business, that understands businesses, and let's bring in the private sector again and allow the healthcare system to start working for the American people and let American people start making choices. So instead of giving the subsidy to the healthcare, we want to give it to the individuals through what we call healthcare savings plans, HSAs. And so what we're trying to do is say, hey, we don't have to completely scrap the system, but let's rework the system and put it in the hands of the American people again instead of the hands of the providers. And Griff, may I say too, the president has been very engaged in this. In fact, I spoke to the president this morning about it. Susie, his chief of staff, is very engaged. His legislative staff is very engaged. The president, this has become his #1 issue, but we also know the Democrats have to work with us because it takes 60 votes in the Senate to move anything.
Well, we'll see where it goes, and it sure does make a lot of common sense. We'll see if it happens in early January. Meanwhile, I've got to ask you this, Senator, because you are on the Armed Services Committee. We saw this afternoon Treasury Department sanctioning 4 more companies, oil companies, in the Venezuelan oil world and targeting also some tankers. You had Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent going on X saying President Trump has been clear, we will not allow the illegitimate Maduro regime to profit from exporting oil while it floods the United States with deadly drugs. The Treasury Department will continue to implement President Trump's campaign of pressure on Maduro's regime. Another development, the pressure continues. What do you make of it, Senator?
Well, what we were trying to do is give Maduro an opportunity to leave. We have told him, even with a price on his head, we have said that if you want to go to China, you want to go to Russia, take off. But you need to turn the country back over to the Venezuelan people. He clearly lost the election. He's running a narco state at this point. He's using the assets of the Venezuela's people by their oil and the asset of their army, the asset of their law enforcement to service these cartels that are running drugs through his state onto narco boats and trying to disperse them throughout the Caribbean, including obviously into the United States. What we're doing is we're using every asset available to us underneath the president's direction to be able to put as much pressure on the Maduro regime to say leave. You are not welcomed in the region anymore. You're not welcome in your state anymore. You're robbing the Venezuelan people. Once Venezuela was one of the bright stars in Central America, where it was obviously something that the rest of the countries around looked up to. Now it's a complete disaster because Maduro has turned it into literally a narco state.
Well,
so we're using the things that we have available to us to get him out of office.
And it's clear the Trump administration is going to keep ramping up the pressure. And Senator, by the way, you can call me Griffin anytime. That's my full name, and my sweet mother, Sylvia, from Chickasha, Oklahoma, would approve. Senator Mullin, have a Happy New Year.
I'll do it then.
All right.
Happy New Year, brother.
All right.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.